That's not a tough question.
I know.
The question
You know, it's just growing the young guys to be able to hold each other accountable. Growing the young guys to understand the importance of executing at the end of games because they've done it. We've been great on closing out close games. You know, we had 2 meltdown possessions where we broke plays and it cost us. Backpedaling out of the end game because we're all human beings and people, remember what happened last, and oftentimes that's a mistake. We should never have been in the position. We should never have been in the position. I thought that it was an average defensive first half, below average, and I thought it was an average offensive half. And we're on the road, it's the NBA, and there we were, still with a chance to close out a game, and we didn't. And so those things are most on my mind.
Is teaching after a win and loss different, almost unavoidably maybe?
For me personally, the pain of losing is far greater than the joy of winning. It's not even close. And somewhere out there to, wake up, get them in the gym, have a candid film session and discussion with the players, and cleanse ourselves and move on is very therapeutic. And it's the drum beat, it's the rhythm beat to me of an NBA season where you don't want to put your head in the sand, you want to get ahead of the story and fix stuff and talk candidly with players and have the players talk candidly amongst themselves. And so those things are the things that matter most, for me, when you talk about winning and losing.
Right. Joel didn't look himself. He didn't look himself the previous game either. It's like, what? I mean, is it conditioning? Is it like his knee isn't 100%? I mean, what's wrong?
I think it's just like for him to be playing the amount of minutes that he's been playing and producing the way that he's been producing, I think he's having an exceptional year. He's exceeded every expectation that I had as far as how much I thought I was going to be able to play him. And so when you look at it, what he's been doing, really given the level of fitness and work that he has put in, is extraordinary. When he gets his legs underneath him, and even look at the last play, he would have ripped Cauley Stein's arm off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When he gets his legs underneath him and he's Joel Embiid, but it's born out of his fitness. And really, I think he's exceeding my expectation on many different levels. And I've said for a while, I think post-Thanksgiving, you're going to see a more conditioned Joel Embiid that's going to translate into a more dominant player. And I think it's frustrating for him where he can't be that now, but his fitness base is probably, a C+, B-, and it's not his fault. He's exceeded expectations.
He still experienced, I mean, he's a trooper. He's out there playing, and I see you guys doing a lot of exercises for his knee, but is he still experiencing some type of soreness after games?
A little bit, but I think some of that is just to be expected, from a man of 7'2", 280 pounds. It's just part of the wear and tear of playing 30-something minutes. You feel, that there is soreness. And with him, because there has been other, injuries, those are exacerbated a little bit. But not to the point where we're alarmists or anything's overly concerning. It's just, the whole recovery and the maintenance of Joel. And so at the moment, his game time is his opportunity to get in shape, better shape. And it's not like he's in here like running on a treadmill in between games. He doesn't have that. And we don't expect him to have that. And so it's a little bit of a catch-22. But I think, if we're all fair, he's been remarkable given the level of conditioning and practice time that he's really had.
Do you, and I know it's tomorrow and it's not today, but at any point has your mind kind of wandered about how maybe to use Ben defensively against a team like the Warriors and the look that they present and that sort of thing? And what things might you think about as far as?
I mean, Ben's versatility we all get. Like, I'm completely challenging him always to improve his defense. And, that's an area that I think that he can really excel in. I think it's a lot easier to improve in that area as it is to go ahead and start making threes. Physically and mentality, he's got it. I know his bloodline well. And I think defensively, we're always looking for more. He can be an incredibly versatile player, especially tomorrow. And I think he's making progress. I think he's making progress. And more importantly, he cares.
Brett, with this team, it's different than in the past. You know, you used to have to be much more involved, almost like a point guard from the sideline. But what is it about this team where you feel confident that they can go out, they can execute the plays, and you don't have to be calling as many timeouts and bringing them in?
Well, use last night as an example. There was like a minute and a half stoppage where I can go tell my team, if they score, this is the play we're running. We don't have to call a timeout. I'm not calling a timeout. And I got the team on the floor that I want. And maybe by calling a timeout, that will allow them to sub their best defensive players and do different things. And so in that example, here we come, 13 seconds left. You know, we have our play. We know what we want to do. We've drilled it for 3 weeks now, 2 weeks now. The exact same look, how we've been closing out games. We've been doing a good job. Last night we didn't. And so I don't entirely feel that. I wished I felt it more, and we will. That's how we're going to grow. That's the holy grail of getting to that point where I can just, you know, let the team run the team. But at that stage, it isn't there yet now, and it shouldn't be now. It's further along than it was, you know, Game 5, and it's going to be a hell of a lot further along when it's Game 20. But right now, you know, it's like I still got to help them a little bit, put them in some spots. Last night's end-of-game execution was disappointing.
Brett, tomorrow's game, it's not a tough question at all, but tomorrow's game, I know I'm just the way you looked at me. Tomorrow's game is like, you know, Golden State is #1 in assists in the league. Y'all are #2. And it's like, I mean, that's a pretty interesting matchup to see that all the ball movement and stuff like that.
You would think so.
Yeah.
You know, with all the analytics they have and the metrics and the motion tracking, when you start looking from the eye in the sky and you start like looking at the analytics of this team, there's a lot of miles covered. There's a lot of passes thrown. That thing is popcorn. And, you know, it should be entertaining. And we, you know, we're going in there excited to play. We really are going in there. We were in the game last year. We were in the game with them at home. And nobody's going in there looking for autographs. We're going in there to play basketball and compete and improve from where we were against Sacramento.